moment. All it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focused, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment. Rise up, you give it all that you got and you rise up. All the stories that tell about the champion who came from the crown. Are you ready to carry it now? Going full speed, never stop, never quit. You're the only one you got to convince that nothing's too far out of your reach. 'Cause all you are is what you believe. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment. I'm looking for cinema. It's hard for me to tell you why. It isn't that this isn't right. My expectations up so high, I'm getting down. 'Cause you don't ever give me chills. This isn't me head over heels. And I said I could feel the fire now. Every time I dream of you, I see. It's the kind of thing that you can't unsee. I'm sorry. Every time I dream of you, I see. It's the kind of thing that you can't unsee. I'm sorry. I'm looking for cinema. And it might be naive, but I know what I want. And this is good enough. So give me some cinema. I want the late night. Boom, accent inside. I'm looking for cinema. And if you don't agree, then I'm giving you some. I wanna laugh so hard it hurts. To feel it touch so hard it burns. It isn't something you could learn, it's natural. And I might not feel that for you, but someday I'll find someone who sees you in a crowded room, sensational. Every time I dream of you, I see. It's the kind of thing that you can't unsee. I'm sorry. Every time I dream of you, I see. It's the kind of thing that you can't unsee. I'm sorry. I'm looking for cinema.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have the very last NECC regular season matchup for us here at Lebanon Valley of the year, which is kind of crazy to think about. This year kind of flew by. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but the reason I'm coming on so early, as you can see, we still have 10 minutes until we start this matchup. I have like 3 pages of notes to talk about, so. Oh, that murdered my green screen. I apologize. But we have a lot to talk about here as we get ready to kick off this final regular season matchup of the year. Of course, you'll have LVC taking on University of Michigan at Flint, the Wolverines over there. So, first off, what I want to talk about is the new update that just dropped, I believe today or yesterday, one of two. I think it was today it just dropped. So let's talk about that update real quick. Deimos, new operator. It's essentially like another Jackal. Pretty much you get once you find utility of any operator on the defensive side. By the way, Deimos is the attacking operator, an attacking operator. It is essentially like a Jackal scan, but the difference is that it's a live ping of that player that you scan, and it only is able to be seen by Deimos. No one else on the team, no one else on the map can see it. Of course, obviously the player that's getting tracked does know they're being tracked, but again, only one player on the map will be seeing that ping, that live ping. So a lot of teamwork really required to make this operator be impactful on your team. Then, alongside of that, there were huge changes to the way sights work in this game. So there's no more 1.5. The ACOG is somewhat back in the meta. It's been added back into a more meaningful capacity within the game. The ADSing is what you'll notice the most. It is insanely slow, or a lot slower, very noticeably slower than what it used to be. So that's something to be looking out for. And I'll probably point it out. I won't even need to point it out. You will. I assure you, you will notice the change. It is immensely slow. But with that change, that also means now laser sights increase ADS speed. So now you have it similar to games like Call of Duty, where a laser on the side of your gun will increase the ADS speed. Don't ask me how that works; it just does. And now they have added that to Rainbow Six. So with that, you have your slower ADS overall. But if you add the laser sight, you get it back. I don't know the exact numbers, but it gets it pretty close to pre this update. So that is something to be watching out for, to see if that ends up being a thing that needs to be worked on, or it needs to be made as a decision to use lasers on your weapon within this update. Of course, I would imagine that's a player-by-player basis and a case-by-case basis especially. But, of course, we also have a lot more changes to talk about. I'm going to try and go through these pretty quickly. I only have 10 minutes, and I have so much information to talk about. So, next, all throwables now have little lines. I don't know if it'll show up in the spectator. I'm assuming it will, but if it doesn't, just know the players can now see exactly where their throwables are going. This includes utility, this includes drones, this includes literally anything that you can throw. You will be able to see a line, and it even shows you where it bounces, if it bounces off a wall, all that sort of stuff. It'll show a very highlighted line on where it's going, including bounces. So that will be something else that the players now have. And one of the bigger changes, the shield changes. So now you can no longer hip fire with your shield. Basically, the goal of, at least what I read through the notes, the goal is to force shield players to now fully commit to fights if they do decide to pull their gun down or pull their gun out. You can no longer hip fire with pistols behind shields, but what you can do behind shields is 2 things. One, at least with Monty's shield, I don't know how it is with the other ones, you can now free look around. So you can, I believe it's holding right click, and you can just drag your mouse and look around the entirety of your screen. So you can now see above you, the top left corner. You can see all the way over to your right, all the way over to your left, all behind your shield. And alongside of that, you can now reload behind your shield. So that is another thing that has been majorly changed with the shields, and along even more shield changes. Sorry, I'm going through all of this really, really quickly, but trust me, there probably will be a quiz on this later if you watch the series. Alongside of that, you have the shield not bashes, but the way you hit a player with a shield. It's now similar to that of getting dashed by Oryx. So you'll get knocked down, and alongside of that, it also does 65 damage. So shields are now a lot different than what they have been in previous renditions of the game. And man, the list goes on and on and on about these shields. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Monty now can also sprint like Blitz, so they both have essentially a very similar speed. I don't know if it's identical, but it's really, really close from what I've seen if it isn't identical, so there's also that to know. And now I think that is all of the shield changes. Oh, also with the free look. So when you're looking around you with behind a shield, you can throw utility around your shield. So you can now throw utility from behind the shield as long as you're in the free look. I don't think you can if you're just holding the shield out, but if you are doing the free look, you can throw your utility. So yeah, that's a lot of changes, and I'm not even done yet. So alongside of all of those, we also see the Azami barriers are now vulnerable to bullet damage. So you can now do a combination of shooting the Azami barrier and meleeing it if you wanted to. They attempted to make it a bit safer. I actually read a couple of the changes they attempted to make that didn't end up panning out. One of them was making them a soft barrier. That ended up not panning out. And there's another one. I don't really remember what it was. Oh, it was based on time, but that also led to the game just being very delayed because people would just wait for the shields or for the barriers to go down. So those were both scrapped. But what they do now is they are vulnerable to bullet damage, so they will lose health depending on what gun you're using. It'll do more damage or less damage depending on what gun you have, what caliber your bullets are. The final thing I want to mention before I get into this actual match, I know I've been talking for 7 minutes just about the game, but trust me, there's so much going on here. The Finka adrenaline surge is no longer it no longer boosts your reload speed. So it used to make your boost or your reload speed twice as fast. No longer is that a thing. It just simply keeps your reload speed at normal. But everything else about the Finka boost is fine. It did not get changed outside of that. So yeah, now let's talk about something else that is related to this series, and that is the NECC Champions Yellow Beast standings. Let's transition over. So with this graphic, you can see the current standings going into this last set of matches for the week. LVC will be taking on University of Michigan at Flint. I believe Ohio State will be playing RMU. Then Kettering will be taking on Louisville. So right here, you can see the map win-loss and the round diff, and these are aligned in order of the tiebreakers. So first becomes your overall, then your map win-loss plus or minus, and then your round diff. So what this means is that for what this is, at least for tonight, if LVC managed to win 2-0, then they will guarantee themselves the first place spot over the university or over Ohio State and Kettering. But on the other side of it, if they win 2-1, that opens the door for Ohio State to come in based on round differential and take that first place spot. So it is pivotal that Lebanon Valley 2-0 today. And alongside of that, also, if Michigan-Flint does lose in a 2-0, there's a possibility they lose their spot to the side of RMU. But the players are ready, so I'm going to start this game, and I will continue talking about these changes while we go, or while this standings here while we go through it. But one more thing I want to mention before I transition over is RMU could take the spot from University of Michigan at Flint, but I severely doubt it. They play Ohio State, and I really don't see Ohio State dropping that one. So just letting you guys know that is another possibility. But now let's transition over to the game for map number 1. I really hope that was all informational. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. This is the one time I will respond to chat because that was a lot of information. I spoke at a million miles an hour speed-wise, as LVC actually going to ban the Monty here on Skyscraper, which is our map number 1. This was the pick of Michigan-Flint, and Twitch, the ban for Michigan. I like that ban, actually. Twitch is a very powerful operator, especially right now. I know she had her weapon changed or got a different sight on her gun, so it became very, very pivotal that her pick rate. So that is a big one to note there on the ban list. And now you'll see the ban on the Solus for Michigan-Flint, and you'll have LVC now going for one final ban before we get into map number 1. One more thing I want to mention about the standings. Again, LVC need to 2-0 to guarantee that first place spot. If they don't, then there's a chance that Ohio State overtakes them in the standings based on round differential. Now, we are here in the game as we have our bans done. Fenrir, by the way, the last ban for LVC. And you'll see Lebanon Valley, Michigan, and Flint. We will be seeing if LVC can clinch their first place spot or if Michigan-Flint will steal that away from them. LVC starting out on the defense. I'm sure they love to see that, as the defense certainly the more preferred side on this map. I do apologize if we get frame drops there. I was seeing a few. Hopefully that doesn't stay for too long. But if you look at this over here, you'll see now LVC looking to get the setup all the way upstairs. They're going to be in the lounge area for this defense. Michigan-Flint going to look to get things started early. Of course, they're sitting at 2-2. They have a 5-5 map win-loss, and that -7 round differential could be bad if RMU does manage to pull off the upset against Ohio State. And also, something that's really worth noting is that these two teams, or the next map will be Clubhouse, a map LVC is very good on. LVC currently sitting at 0-1 on Skyscraper, and you'll see Michigan-Flint sitting at 2-1 on the map. They have been playing this a good bit throughout NECC, playing almost every single matchup they have taken on Skyscraper. And you'll also see, here's Deimos. She left me, gonna be on this one, and you'll very likely see this util get used, or his util get used pretty soon. Also, another thing to point out with this operator, they have a new revolver that's been added into the game. It has like a weird sniper scope type deal on it, so of course there is that to note. Hopefully, all of that information stuck and made sense. See the drone work here from Ryda. Pinged up Mr. Davis there for just a couple seconds, but now it'll likely spot another player. As it does, that will be reliable. That gets spotted by that drone. So already a lot. Left click. Holding here with Hollow. Over towards the makeup room. See if this leads to anything, and you'll see Reliable is going to be the one to get pinged. I do like that it shows, actually, even on the spectator, who gets pinged by that Deimos. As you can even see it through the observer. That's kind of crazy. You will definitely know every single time someone gets pinged by that bad boy. But it'll be Mr. Davis getting first blood. Now has a drone in front of him, too. Besides, dash on away, gets his blood, and that's going to be Ryda off the map. Not really sure where that kill came in from. I apologize. I've been really focusing on a lot of the information, preliminary look information on this. You're going to see Reliable again getting pinged up by that Deimos. Is there anything that they can do about this, though? I mean, you can see where Reliable is at. And now Plexios going to take down one and left click, and she left me going to get the kills. Plexios, though, again, still trading out for LVC. Still with a man advantage. Left click, and she left me. The two down, left alive. I'm trying not to say the word left, and two of them have left in their name. You'll see, though, left click. Looking to get that diffuser down. Does LVC hear this? And it doesn't look like they do. They're going to let that plan go through, and now it's a 2v3 retake for Lebanon Valley. But good shots, gets the down on Mr. Davis. Is he able to get picked up? In the line of sight from Plexios, but he has a triple kill. All down to Plexios, actually, as his teammates are down. Now she left me just trying to see if Plexios goes for that defuse, and he does. Good work from She Left Me. Gets the clutch to 2v3 for Michigan-Flint. I do apologize if the stream is lagging any bit. It says unstable on my Twitch side. It says it's fine on OBS here, so we'll see if that is actually an issue. And if it is, just let me know. I don't know how much I can do about it, but just in case, I'm not 100% sure if there's any information there. But that was huge plays on the Deimos from She Left Me. That was literally why they won the round. They would simply have not won that round without Deimos, as they were getting picked apart by Lebanon Valley, but Deimos picking up 2 different kills, and that's exactly showing you how powerful this operator can be when used directly. You just put your best player on it, simply let them roam around the map, get every frag. I mean, you see 3 kills actually, not 2. I apologize. I missed that. I missed the third kill. I'm not sure where that one came in, but the pings onto Reliable just forced him into a bad spot, got shot from underneath. Plexios on the bomb. Couldn't get the defuse. He got very close, but ultimately still got checked, and that is where Lebanon Valley will lose the round. And I'm not going to lie to you, you are going to see Deimos every single round. I severely doubt they would ever go off this operator, especially with how good She Left Me looked on the pistol. You can even see the UI to an extent here. I don't remember what button it is. You can see there, they can just live ping any of these operators. And simply, there's a selection. I don't know what the exact button is for it, but you can select any of those on the left side of your screen there. You can select any of them, and then, but again, only Deimos can see it, so they likely end up having to be the player to push. See who they end up all picking to ping, and it will be Reliable again. And also, I apologize for last round. I just now realized it was Emporium getting pinged the whole round, not Reliable. And now LVC already have gotten 2 kills, huge picks, but they need to be careful here as they had a 5v4 or 5v3 I think last round, and they were not able to convert. So let's see if they're able to make that happen this time around. Moving on, Hollow and Seda. You will see them going for these fights. Actually, sorry, left click. Hollow. She left me one of the players that dies, so that's a huge pick for LVC. As long as they can pick off the Deimos, that's likely going to be what ends up halting most rounds, at least for Michigan-Flint. As I was spectating Hollow live, they lagged out, so we'll make sure to get a pause after this game. But those shots from Plexios are clean. Now down to left click. At least I will say this was a round for LVC, I'd imagine, even before that player lagged out. So, unfortunate, but thankfully it wasn't a super necessary clutch round before that. So we will pause the timer there, and we will wait on up as we head back to the caster screen. And also, I'm noticing a new UI here a little bit. The names look a bit different. I see the little slanted bar now instead of it just being a normal thing. So, or instead of it just being the squared boxes that it was. I do like that change. Not that it's anything huge, but also, I know there's a spectator from Michigan-Flint in here, so I do really like that we can actually have 2 spectators now. We don't have to just rely on it being one person spectating and arguing over who gets streaming priority, as we will wait for, I believe it was Hollow. Yep, we will wait for Hollow to get back into the lobby. LVC tying the game up there 1-1. And again, this is a very necessary map in my opinion for the side of Lebanon Valley, as honestly, it's not a great look if you lose this map for Michigan-Flint because simply you have Clubhouse next, and LVC have been dominant on that map. They're sitting at 2-0 just in NECC play, and Michigan-Flint currently only at 1-2 on the map, at least in NECC play. So that is something that's definitely worth noting, and they've lost last week on that map to RMU, so LVC definitely in a good spot going into that. But of course, they need to take this map here, and they need, also, don't mind that timer. I just now realized that that timer's at 42 minutes. Please do not mind that. We absolutely do not have 42 minutes. Hollow is actually back in the lobby, but we are just waiting for LVC to be readied up, and then we'll be good to go, as I believe one of the players from Lebanon Valley just walked over to the bathroom. But of course, I'm sure neither team will really be that concerned with having an extra couple seconds of a pause. So we will be good to go in just 1 second, as teams taken time to probably talk, I'd imagine, talk things over. 1-1 scoreline, so we're very early on here, as believe everyone should be good. Let's hit resume timer, and let's get into this round, as now we have LVC heading up to that second floor as they get to the exhibition side of the map. See exhibition and office here. Haven't really seen the defensive bans be a major factor here. I will say Fenrir probably has some form of an impact on LVC, but outside of that, I don't really think much of it. I know LVC was starting to play Fenrir a little bit, at least here on Skyscraper, but for the most part, they aren't really in a big, it really hasn't been a big factor, as I do see the stream lagging a bit. I might have to restart it after this map, I'm assuming. I'm not really sure why that's happening, but this PC is relatively older, so I do apologize if it lags the entire map. Hopefully not. But we will see Deimos once again out from She Left Me. And actually, I do see that the stats for HoloLive did end up staying, so that's always a plus. You don't have to worry about that. And looking at the Deimos early on, there's no one that's able to be live pinged, so on this left side, I will make sure to go to it periodically to know who could be pinged by Deimos, but again, if I miss it, I'm sorry for that, but it's a very impactful thing. Honestly, this is probably one of the more impactful parts of the entire round, almost every single round. So I'll try and make sure to remember to get those checked up on. And we see that ping there on the Legion mine. So also now the Malusi able to be pinged up as well, as utility starting to get found by Michigan-Flint. LVC need to be careful on where they go. But again, it'll be Plexios. Why do I ever go off his perspective sometimes, as he's getting pinged by Deimos, but it doesn't seem to matter. Now the Deimos is also pinged up by Lebanon Valley. Neither of these players want to take that fight. They know exactly where each other are when they're peeking. Might as well back on away. 5v4 for the time being. Here are a lot of shots going through, but essentially no kills getting put down on the map. Really no damage either. She Left Me, by the way, is at a pretty weak health. So is Sido now. As Reliable going to get the kill onto HoloLive. Sato trying to go for that trade. Gets a couple shots downrange. Now the Lions scan through, so likely will look to take this fight. She Left Me now very, very weak. But look at that from Reliable. He gets aggressive. Knows Sato is weak and decides to pounce. And Lebanon Valley will now make it a 5v1. All down to She Left Me. Good shots with the pistol onto Plexios. At least now makes it a 1v4. But man, with like 10 HP, you're not going to get much out of it. And Borum gets the kill, and now Lebanon Valley take the lead. And man, Lebanon Valley just eviscerate. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even have gameplay on that entire round. You can see where I was looking. Trust me, you didn't really miss anything that important. LVC won the round. You at least heard me commentate. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. I do apologize for that. I don't know how I didn't remember to switch the round, but it's all right. So, we are now going into round number 3 as Lebanon Valley looking to extend their lead. Mr. Davis on the cap can. Always love to see that. We'll see where those traps go, and if they have an impact, to be honest, they probably won't. You see Plexios on the Azami. Remember, these Azami barriers can now be shot through with any sort of bullet. And the different calibers of different bullets will have different effects on the Azami barriers. They'll do more damage based on if they're a higher caliber, and if they're a lower caliber, they'll do less damage. So sometimes you might see a couple punches get down, and then with an LMG, just do the rest of the work. Some random combination, but it all comes down to what operators are picked on the opposing side. And you see here, actually, there's no Deimos to speak of. See Ryda out on the ramp, Sato with the Nomad. Left click on the ace, Ash out from She Left Me. Going to be looking towards a different avenue instead of that Deimos. And now we'll also see HoloLive 2-2-2-2. That's a lot of 2s and a lot of underscores on the Dokkaebi. See those shots from Holo, just patiently waiting for someone to walk right in front of them, but unfortunately for them, not quite what's going to happen. Look at this angle from Plexios, already sitting at 8 and 2. I mean, that's exactly what you'd expect from a player of his caliber, but still continues to impress every single day I get to watch him. It's very much a pleasure of mine. Reload for him in Geisha. Gonna have going to be droned out and have 2 players in front of him, and this may be a really tough game. Ends up getting smoked by the Dokebi. Does a lot of damage to Hollow, but ultimately the better gun will go to Ryda, actually, who worked with Hollow live there. Plexios, though, gets some trades onto them as the Hollow hop in. Ryda now just trying to wait. Looks like Michigan-Flint going for some game control, but here Plexios almost rips the head off of Ryda, but we'll have to back away for now. Players looking to push shots onto Sato, but doesn't confirm himself. Now he is pinched. Bit of an awkward spot, and look at that. The reaction time from Sato is not there. Now getting flashed by everybody, getting pinched by everybody too. She left me finally going to get the collapse reliable, put them pretty weak towards Drum. The Senate has some work to do too, over towards T. Should Davis. Senate gets hit by a nomad charge. Able to sneak on away. I'm still watching that hop in through Gabe, as he should be, to be honest with you. But Mr. Davis also just making sure has an angle downstairs too. Looking for the creddy in at least in COD terminology. And again, I'm going to apologize for the entire map. I'm going to restart our stream after this. I might have to restart this PC because I don't know why it's lagging so hard. I've never seen it have this many issues before, but I have. I don't really know if I've turned it off today, so that could be affecting it. It is a relatively older one, so again, maybe apologies for the lagging. We do tend to be professional, but all of a sudden everyone goes down. Mr. Davis ends up getting his own trade with a pistol, by the way, as Ryda will be the last one to fall, and everyone just got taken down immediately there for the side of Michigan-Flint, and now Lebanon Valley have a 3-1 lead. And now we have a pause. As we get a pause at 2 seconds, I looked away for half a second to see the stream because I know it's lagging, as everyone is leaving the lobby because everyone's game is just deciding to not be cooperative today. But we'll have to transition over to the casters again. Hopefully I actually remember to turn it back this time. Hopefully I remember to turn it back to the screen, but unfortunately we have another tech pause. This game, man, update day, it's never going to be perfect, unfortunately, but seeing the words from Plexios, we will likely have to go to a rehost, actually. LVC, again, 3-1 lead, and I'm very excited to see where this one takes us. As, again, if LVC 2-0, they guarantee first place in the division and take that first place spot for the playoffs that will be occurring in just a couple of weeks for NECC play. But of course, what we're going to do is we're likely going to have to rehost, so what I'm going to do, toss it to a quick little break for about 5-10 minutes. I'll put 10 on the timer. Hopefully we can get everyone back in by then. And if we do, then that'll be perfect for us. I will toss it again to a quick little break. We'll have a bit of a tech pause as we wait for everyone to get back into the lobby, as of course, always dealing with some tech issues with Rainbow Six Siege. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break. We're ready to get the match going once again. All right, we are back. Round number 5. Hopefully we don't deal with any more issues. Also, I just have been looking at, I'm making sure the stream is not lagging. I'm trying my best here. I can't really do anything about it anyways, even if it is. I could probably restart this PC, but that's kind of a pain, especially mid-series. So if it is still happening during, like, consistently, then I will restart after map 1. But for now, we will unfortunately just have to deal with it during map 1 as we head here into the next round. Am I not tapped into the game? And I apologize, my controller is not working. So we will have to go to the I don't know the keybinds, so we'll see if it lets me use my controller here and not my keyboard, so I can actually spectate. There we go. Again, apologies for that. I don't know why it didn't let me use my controller for a minute, but we are here round number 4, LVC 3. Currently, as you can see, the main operators are the same. The site, of course, are ready to go. You'll have them LVC holding PT room once again, and they lost this site the first round, so we'll see if LVC can bring it back and make sure that this actually goes their way this time around. Now, you're not going to see a Deimos on the other side. You're going to see a Gridlock, though, from Sato, and I know how much Gridlocks have affected LVC, especially defensively, but of course, we'll see what happens there as we get further into the round. Now, Plexios was, I think, like 9-2 before the restart. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to we're going to have to imagine some certain things. There is a player on that wall there. That's going to be the Senate, I believe. Maybe not. I'm probably wrong about that, but of course we'll just spectate this so we can see it from the actual side where it's be a bit more impactful. That will be actually Mr. Davis who's trying to bandit trick this wall. We'll see if it ends up being successful. Looks like for now, could be wrong. But yes, he actually has been for the time being. The wall will get one up off the window now, being approached here by Hollow, as now Michigan-Flint looking to take space. Mr. Davis going to be put into a pickle here towards Exhibition in just a couple seconds. The head of one player, the Senate, likely not going to shoot that, though. He's simply not that type of player, as he'll just wait for them to get to a better angle. Look at this. Plexios should be able to spot these players' elbows, but maybe not. He has the head of someone right in front of him, but not the most ideal position, especially with the weapons he's got on that Mira. One player turns across. Gridlocks are now placed inside. The Senate will let the team know that there is a gridlock running about. But right now, Michigan-Flint all outside. Sato, though, as everyone dies the second I go to start going for that up top cam. It is a 4v3 in a match of about 2.5 seconds. I've never seen that many people die at the same time ever in this game. But now, Michigan-Flint's push is all but halted at the moment. At least the players that are alive are together. Saito, Ride, and Hollow live, all looking to make a play. See the ball come through. Saito gonna have to step aside, pull out the Legion Mine over the Dragon, and now gonna look to get some space here with Hollow. Ride not too far behind. Also has the diffuser in their hand. Here comes Saito, though. Use one with the Senate, I think, unless that's the wall. It is actually. Sorry, I don't know this. Actually, no. And Saito will take down the Senate, but does end up getting a lot of help taken away. That Plexios gets another reliable shot. It's not quite there. Pulls out the pistol and does get the damage done. Plexios, though, will be the one to finish the kill. Man, reliable. A lot of bullets down range and not a lot of them connected, but still gets the assist there. Does at least open the door for Plexios to make it a 4-1 lead. And Lebanon Valley now looking to snowball, looking to make this half 5-1 before heading into their attack. And again, we're seeing the Deimos moved away from for Michigan-Flint. They decide after a few rounds of it not working, they're going to walk away from the new operator, give it some more time to cook and see what happens. Rida does end up getting kicked. I'm not really sure what happens there, but I'm not seeing a call for a pause, so I'm assuming that means we don't pause the timer. Again, I'm not Gene Steratore, and I apologize for that. I wish I was that intelligent when it comes to rule books, but unfortunately, I haven't taken the time to fully read these. I don't necessarily know how all these rules work, but I'm not seeing a pause being called for. I'm assuming they're just going to play this one out, and yeah. 4v5, and we may end up having to go to central servers. Right now we are on east, and they were probably be on east. So, I'm not sure, I doubt that's the issue, but it's kind of throwing me off a little bit seeing these players get kicked out. But again, the first day of the new season, I'm assuming that has something to do with it. It's probably some buffoonery afoot if you are the Rainbow Six Siege servers, as they tend to be, especially at they love making sure everything is broken before they release it. And you're seeing that be the case here, I'd imagine. I do remember watching this team play against RMU, and they never had this many very much day one shenanigans. Found out. We'll now see what Lebanon Valley is able to do. Again, they have 5 so they're at least in an advantageous position to start off this round. Reliable is stunned on that's been nauseating. Plexios does find first blood, and I don't know why he didn't go away from it, knowing he's going to get first blood almost every damn round. Ball's now coming in, but I mean, you already know that Plexios is engaged. Get a trade onto Reliable. I say trade, but realistically the game would likely not count as a trade. But Plexios again stuck here engaged. 1 second. Doesn't even matter. Rida does return, but it doesn't even matter. Plexios Emporium doing the dirty work, getting the kills. Plexios catches the better of Hollow, and now LVC are 1 or 2 rounds away from taking map number 1. I believe, though, there is no need to pause here, as of course you see Rida back in the lobby. 5-1, though. Lebanon Valley are rolling right now, and I'm going to take a look at the ping, and it's not, I am seeing 40s, but nothing to really warrant constantly getting kicked out of the game. But again, probably day one shenanigans on the Rainbow Six end, as, you know, they do be a little goofy on the occasion, as we now head into the round where my controller just does not want to work again. But finally, we do get it, as we'll see Michigan go up to that T room. And I will say, the reason I feel so casual about this 5-1 scoreline is because defenses are miles easier on this map. It is very hard to attack any site on this map, so you're likely going to see a few defensive rounds Michigan-Flint, unless if LVC comes out with some new strategy. I did see them working on in their pre-match scrim, which they did do on this map. So likely we'll see some new things come out from LVC. Of course, the last time we saw Lebanon Valley play this map, they ended up giving them 6 attacking rounds in a row and ended up losing the map because of that. So let's see what they're able to pull off here. One key point I do want to make LVC's attacks on every single map. They're going to start using Grim almost every single round. Grim, I believe he got buffed for his weapons, and also Grim, the way his bees do work are just very, very good. They are very just impactful. You can get ping or deny spacing for a lot of different places on the map. You see Mr. Davis, his camera getting destroyed, but of course grabs that information on Rida before that happens. Or sorry, not on Rida. That is going to be, I believe, left click that is in that position. So the zombie barriers go down. Finka call is in. Or sorry, Finka. The Dokebi call is in. Also, I'm sorry I'm missing so many kills. I feel like I've never missed this many kills before in a series, but everything's just kind of going so fast, at least defensively for Lebanon Valley it was. So we'll see if Michigan-Flint can slow things down and make it a bit easier to spectate, because honestly, it's been a bit of a tough one to kind of gather who's going to die where fights are going down. We're seeing a lot of pressure here from Lebanon Valley side of the map, so we'll start with the defensive operator. It's going to be Hollow on the Azami. Over towards Drum. Bomb. Rida on the other side of Hollow. Smokes do get tossed. A minute 20 left, and LVC gonna look to make their way into the building here. Did Mr. Davis catch the gun barrel of Hollow there? I'm assuming not, but he does have all 5 grids still ready to go. We'll see where he decides to place those. They are able to be balanced, so they get a lot of see that barrier is reinforced, and look at that 3 kill from Mr. Davis. Smart play from him. The Senate gonna hop on the other side. Mr. Davis now has another fight towards Gage, towards the other side of Gage. With a smart angle, but it'll be actually reliable picking up a kill on the bomb site. Now Plexios is actually put really weak from that gas mine, but it is a 2v5. Now down to Sato with left click. We'll see if they're able to get anything from the team. They're surrounded though. Reliable gets the second on the round, all down to Sato, and 1 player left. For Michigan-Flint, and that's a flawless defensive. Plexios shot a dead body there. I'm assuming he thought they were alive, and I'm not going to lie to you. That player was definitely dead. They were lying on the floor, basically motionless. I say basically, but they were motionless. And now LVC sitting at a 6-1 advantage. And if you are Michigan-Flint, you have to be terrified right now. This is their map pick. And especially on the defensive side, you just got flawless on a map that is very defensive heavy. So you have to be very concerned if you're the side of Michigan-Flint here. I don't have much to say. I really don't. I'm not even really sure what happened in that round. And also, unfortunately, as every round starts, the controller simply just doesn't want to take the impulse. So I'm assuming that's a Rainbow Six thing. They kind of messed with the controllers, at least on PC. I would not be playing it. I'd just be absolutely out of my mind thinking to do so. But of course, it is a bit easier to spectate with a controller, at least for me. I'm not a big keyboard guy, so of course. See how long we have to deal with that sort of shenanigans or buffoonery, if you want to go with a different terminology. I have been saying the word shenanigans a fair bit this series. Now we see looking to make a statement in game 1, and if they hit the clubhouse like this, I'm a bit worried. We do see a blitz come out from Mr. Davis. We get to see some of that shield mechanics. You saw him already pulling off the free look. Three, I don't know how to read. 3 of the players on Michigan-Flint at 0 kills. A combined 0 and 8 from Rida, Hollow, and Lefty. Not ideal from the jump of the restart. I say the jump, but I mean at this point, it's about 3 or 4 rounds deep into that restart. Not ideal if you are the defensive team at the moment. You have to make a huge comeback, and you just got flawless in the first round of your defense. Jammer gonna lead to Mr. Davis picking up that drone. Plexios, we'll see what his drone work has done. He's sitting at 6-0 from the restart. I believe he was 8-2 before, so he's got almost 20 kills in the lobby. But the reason I'm so casual about that is because they get Plexios. Now he's getting drone information as well. That's something you don't want to see if you are Michigan-Flint. The Wolverines having a rough time right now. You're going to see some flashes. Plexios does get first blooded. Mr. Davis gets a trade, but that one will go on to left click. He does get down though, so there's not going to be a shield able to hold this for Mr. Valley. Plant does not end up going down. Important ends up picking that up. Doesn't want to kill though. Trades out Rida. Now a 2v3, but now a 2v3. Although kind of honestly a 1v3, as it's going to be the Senate, the only player left. Mr. Davis is currently downed, and now the Senate has to really pull off something incredible if they want to take this map in what would be immensely dominant fashion. Of course, they have a few rounds to give. On attack is now you're I'm not sure who that is, but I thought it was Sato, but it wasn't. It was she left me. I apologize. Going to the wrong player, but I mean, to be fair, you weren't going to see a single thing of that clip anyway, so it's a kill that ends up being a very quick one. Still match point for LVC, 6-2. Now the scoreline. Michigan-Flint at least getting one back, and that's how you have to take this. One at a time. You know you're on defense, and it's much, much easier to win these defensive rounds if you are Michigan-Flint. So that is, I'd imagine you somewhat expected to go down when you saw LVC pick the defensive side to start. I'd imagine you were thinking, yeah, we're probably going to be down going into the half, but if we can win at least 1-2 rounds there, then we'll probably be decently well off. And we're going to see if that ends up being the case here. But just taking a quick look at that, you can see LVC lost the first round of the defense, but won the next 5 straight. But outside of that, I mean, you're seeing at least a round going for Michigan-Flint there. And it looks like the stream is still lagging, so after this map, I will give a good old restart to the PC, and we will have to, and then we'll be right back after it. So we'll take a bit of a longer break in between series, or in between maps, but I trust it shouldn't be too terribly long. LVC now getting their attack ready to go. Plexios going to be on the wing this time around. Seeing heavy presence towards Shrine and Dragon for Michigan-Flint. Where is Ryda at? There's, I believe it's also Shrine, Karaoke for left click, Sushi for Sato, and for She Left Me. These zombie barriers should be pretty helpful for the side of Michigan-Flint. They're certainly going to make it much easier for them to hold these animals. Drone is getting spotted by Ryda, so the Senate has the intel, and it looks like the Senate will probably lag out of it. Still giving audio directly. The Senate will not join us back in this round. Will be a 4v5 for Lebanon Valley as they look to make this attack. And yep, that's definitely going to be a game crash or lag out, whatever you call it. Attack 4v5. It's not ideal. Michigan-Flint did get a 4v5 or have a 4v5 round themselves earlier, so at least making the odds a bit more up. Reliable. That would be Plexios kill. That's another down for Plexios. He is finds 2, but now does get traded. 3v3 though. LVC have made this winnable. Reliable trying to take a fight, does get a good flick. That's what you get when you have a guy like Reliable on your team, but unfortunately, that will be him getting taken down. Emporium, though, making it a 1v1, had a 1v2. Now it's down to She Left Me and Emporium. Emporium at least has the diffuser as well, so this could be a plant for Emporium if need be, but look at this. He can ping down onto Emporium. So he does now have the intel. Could even go for that if he needs to. That's likely what will happen. We'll see if it's going down. That's exactly what will happen. Plant is gone. Now, Emporium just needs to hold. She Left Me. Trying to get the angle through T-Rim. These players. Terribly much, and now with just 20 seconds, I say just, has a lot of time for a 1v1. Trying to play the game and wins the round, wins the map. LVC go up 1-0 on Skyscraper. I want to say Clubhouse, but now we will be heading into Clubhouse, so we do now have a little bit of a break because the Senate's game did crash anyways. They win that round 4v5. Great work from Lebanon Valley. They had an incredible map there, 7-2. Plexios will be your MVP. As you can see, the final stats there after the restart. 0-4, 0-5 from Hollow and Left Click. You're going to want to see those two step it up after we get into map number 2. But, of course, I'm going to try and restart my game. I'm going to make sure to ask the players first. But as long as that happens, you'll see the stream stop and then turn back on. So we'll be back in just a little bit as we get everything figured on out.